Sharron Cadieux.
And where are we now, Sharron?
We're in Winchendon on a back road that where we built back in the woods so that we could be protected from development. We wanted to live where there was privacy, where we were surrounded by woods. We had gone to a realtor. We were looking in southern New Hampshire, but we wanted a stream. And one time we went and she said she had the piece of property that we wanted, but it was in Massachusetts. And she said she knew that she had the property sold as soon as we stepped foot on it, because you could hear the brook running in the distance. And we put a deposit down that day. And over the years we've gradually built our home, but without destroying the surrounding woods. My husband would laugh at me every time we had to cut down a tree, because I would not want the tree cut down. So we've kept the ferns along the brook and the moss, and we just don't do anything to damage the natural setting.
And where you're standing is where the pipeline would come through.
According to the map that I saw, it looks like it comes right through where the house is and crosses the brook here at the bend in the brook.
So Hattie asked about how you found out that this pristine, beautiful land you live on, in which you have preserved the ferns, you've done everything you can to preserve every tree, and now you find out that Kinder Morgan wants to put a pipeline through here. How did you find that out?
There was a meeting at the church on 140 where the pipeline is supposed to go through their parking lot, and MJ Gallant was showing what the extent of the pipeline. We had heard about it before a little bit, but we thought it was a small little pipeline going along the road. We weren't happy about it, but we weren't that upset. And so when MJ was explaining the extent of the pipeline, and I looked at the map and saw that it was going right here, I was in shock. I was just devastated. But it keeps a pool so that the brook trout have a place to go when the brook is as low as it is now. This is the lowest it gets. And as you can see, there's the rock that shows you where the normal height of the brook is. But in August, it's very low. In the fall, it's the ferns and the birch and the beech and the witch hazel, they all turn yellow, and it's like shimmering gold in the sunlight. In the winter, it's like a black ribbon that goes through the snow, and the leaves aren't overhead, so the sunlight sparkles on it. In the spring, it overflows. You can see where it's washed away. Things last spring, right around in this area is where the map shows.
The 3-foot wide pipeline, and you would have 100-foot easement total on either side.
Right. So we look out our windows at the beauty of the woods and the ferns and the brook, and it would all be gone, and it would be maintained. Even if they tried, which they wouldn't do, but even if they tried to make it so that it was more palatable, they wouldn't be able to put back 100-year-old trees, or they wouldn't want trees at all. We didn't want open space and open fields. We wanted woodland. We've built our whole life here. We had a dream and we built it, and now, being faced with losing it is just devastating. We built the house in '78, so over 30 years. I love gardening. I'm an over-the-edge gardener, and I grow things organically. I have a greenhouse. I start things from seeds, tomato seeds, pepper seeds, so that I know where they come from. We create mulch with our neighbors' cow manure and mulch leaves, and I don't know when to stop. So, so it gets beyond me. But
the story of the good gardener. We never know when to
We
stop.
never know when to stop. No.
And what kind of like birds or animals come through here?
Oh, we've seen bear, raccoon, possum, porcupine, deer, of course. We have hummingbirds that come. We have nuthatches, chickadees, blue jays, crows, great blue heron, like the brook, hawks, of course. And we only feed the hummingbirds, though, because if we feed the other birds, we find that it brings the bears and squirrels and things like that. So the squirrels like to move into our house, so we kind of discourage that. We like them in the trees, but not in our house.
There's opposition to the pipeline from Richmond to Dracut and north and south all over the Commonwealth. And Hattie Nessel asked us to talk together about why you particularly are opposed to the pipeline, because these are all very personal stories. There are various reasons people don't want the pipeline coming through their homeland, through their land. So could you just tell us yours?
I'm Don Cadieux.
Okay, and we're here visiting you and Sharron, and she's going to tell us about her opposition and both of your opposition, I think, to the pipeline. And you've already shown us your beautiful land, and what this experience of joining with neighbors and people from across the Commonwealth has been, and what your hopes are regarding that pipeline.
Well, that has been a wonderful experience, because we've met so many really exceptional people who feel the same as we did. And in all honesty, we didn't have much of an idea. You know, we had kind of a nebulous idea about fracked gas, and that you know, it didn't sound very good. It sounded like a very poor choice as far as the future and the environment and things like that. But we really didn't know very much about it. And in all honesty, until we knew that it was going to affect us directly and destroy our way of life and destroy everything that we've worked and built. So in working with people, we've gotten to know more people in the area and beyond. And also, you know, we hope that people will start to listen more. And I think that there are more people aware. We come across people who think, like we did, that it was just going to be a small little pipeline going through, and not realize the devastation and going across conservation land and, you know, spraying chemicals and maintaining that devastation. You know, and not knowing what the chemicals are and when they're sprayed and those kinds of things. Well, we hope that more and more people become aware of the devastation and the long-term effects of this pipeline. It's not just the devastation going through here, which would destroy us, you know, coming through and wrecking everything that we've built. But it's also that the infrastructure would be there for, you know, years and decades, and it would discourage reliance on less destructive forms of energy. It would discourage developing more reliable ways of developing wind and solar and things like that. We were just driving by a mountain that had windmills on top just this weekend, and I had read an article that said that we have to make hard choices because yes, we need energy, but that people are opposed to windmills because they're ugly, and you know, so people are opposed to everything. And I thought I thought they looked nice. They're very graceful, and it seems like such a positive statement. To have something that's renewable on the skyline. So I think we need to move more in directions that are more positive and better for the future. When I first heard about it and saw the map where the line came right through here, where we sit, and crossed the brook, my blood pressure skyrocketed. I started actually literally shaking. So it's gradually getting under control a little bit better because of feeling that I'm working towards something, but it's still affecting my blood pressure, my health, that kind of thing.
You could become a great commercial for social activism as a way to keep your blood pressure lowered. But
It does help.
well, let me ask you about that, because it sounds like you've become quite active in opposing this, and how have you done that?
Collecting signatures, going to meetings, marching, yelling. Basically, it still comes down to one thing. The more fossil fuels we use, the more we're destroying the world. We're destroying everything we had just for the sake of a few minutes within a millennium of heat, of gas, and everything else. We can't do that any longer. Fracking is ruining the country. It is destroying the country. It will never be repeated. It will never be fixed. The more we frack, the more we destroy. And destroy is endless. It never comes back. We're never going to get the aquifers back. I hate to tell anybody, we need them. Water is what we're going to have in the future. Not
John's-
extra gas, not extra earth-shattering development. We've got to have water. And fracking destroys water, no matter what they say. Okay, every leak destroys the aquifer. Maybe a little bit, maybe permanently. This is what happened with the Okalala aquifer out in the Midwest. It's destroyed forever. What else you want? You want to continue it? Let's continue it. To hell with everything else.
Obviously, that's tongue-in-cheek because you're out gathering signatures, you're going to meetings, you're standing with your neighbors. Do you have
Donald's gone knocking on doors, talking to people, trying to get more signatures, trying to get people to come to meetings.
Trying to get past the apathy. It's very simple.
Apathy's a big
People got to learn to fight. If they don't fight, we're going to lose. And it's not just a few. A few can't do it. It's got to be a lot of people.
What's the relationship between fracking and the pipeline?
That's where they're getting their gas. The gas is coming from fracking. Oh, we're not fracking much in Massachusetts, but they're doing a lot in Pennsylvania, New York, Ohio. They've got to get that gas to the market. It is not to an American market. It is not going to an American market. We can't use any of that gas.
Well, they'll drop a little bit off so that they can say that they're addressing a need in New England, but then they'll send it off to the ports and send it to higher paying countries. And so they're making a profit while we lose everything. We lose all of this.
But they're also saying it's not going to cost us anything because we're going to put a surcharge on all electricity. So we're going to be paying for everything they do. And they're responsible for nothing. If there's a leak in the property, the town has to fix it. Has to put up the money. They have to pay the extra insurance. They have to have equipment ready for this. Every single town has to do that.
So even if we could stay here with our view destroyed, we would always know that that danger was right there. You know, talk about my blood pressure. You know, even looking out the window would raise my blood pressure, knowing that they could spray anytime, knowing that that dangerous material was piped under pressure right by my doorstep. I mean, we don't even have gas in our house because it makes us nervous. I don't have a gas stove. So it's just boggles the mind that people could think this was a good solution to anything.
Gas is just a spark away. You have natural gas, you're a spark away from destroying everything you had. Good luck.
So do you have any last thoughts you want to share with us and with folks across the Commonwealth?
I think I applaud what you're doing because we've talked to people who say, "What's the big deal?" You know, they have gas pipelines in towns. It's not a big deal. People don't really understand the extent of this project. They don't understand the extent of the devastation. They don't understand the impact on people like us, that everything that we've built, everything we've tried to preserve would be destroyed. And, you know, we've been heartbroken.